Hello, so welcome to this video for COMP3218, Games Design and Development at the University of Southampton. My name's Dave Millard, I'm one of the lecturers on the course, and I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Luca. I'm one of the demonstrators on the course.
Great, so we've got a couple of student games to have a look at in today's video. Luca, do you mind just saying a little bit about what we asked the students to do?
So, for Coursework 1 in this module, we've asked the students to form groups of 3 and develop a game prototype with 2 main qualities, a core dynamic and a tutorial that shows how the game's meant to be played.
Brilliant. Well, let's get on and have a look at our first game. Right, so our first game of the day is called Coursework 1, which is either lazy or ironic. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure which. So here we go. Play or exit. So I guess play. So no tutorial option. So I'm hoping it's in the game. I've turned the sound down a bit because it was a bit overpowering, but there is a soundtrack.
We've got some nice music
going on in the background. So let's hit play. Okay, move left and right with A and D. So let's just have a look. So I've got a coin. Okay, so I've got a little figure down the bottom. So, and yeah, go and get that coin.
Nice.
Go and get that coin. Ah, there we go. Jump with W. All right. So literally telling me what to do as we go.
It's building the level.
Yeah, it's quite nice actually. And I can jump through that one. I'm presuming I'll land on it. Right. Attack left with K. Okay.
Okay.
K. Oh, crikey. Oh, that's interesting. Can I do multiple ones? Oh, it moves each time.
Okay.
Okay, so I can go and get that one. Attack right with L. Oh, okay. So why don't I just attack in the direction I'm facing?
Presumably so that you can walk backwards and attack forwards at some point?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay.
Fall through platforms with S.
Okay, so drop down with S, yeah, there we go. And a little reward for doing that. There we go. Basic stats. Cost 9. Is that...
I suppose that's what we buy then, because if we've got nine coins in the first shop and we've got one option, sorry, 9 coins from the tutorial level, and we've got one option in the shop.
Oh, you think that's a button? Oh, I hadn't recognised that. So I click that and it costs 9 to buy basic stats.
I presume so. There you go.
Okay. All right, there we go. We've run out of coins. All right. And we're in. So we're a slightly different...
Ooh.
Was it K and L, wasn't it?
Yeah, slightly different scale.
A wave one. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. It's not what I expected. So what I'm wondering at the moment is why do I have all these exciting platforms up above me? I presume that will come to life in later waves.
I suppose right now it's throwing some easy shots at you, given all the enemies are coming along the same level.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing they're going to drop in from the top on those 2... or those 4 platforms.
If you try platforming away from them, do they just kind of pool around at the bottom?
Or... Oh, they tap me.
Ah, they come after you.
Oh, I love the little blood effect. That's really nice.
Nice.
If I try jumping over them, look, they come after me. Oh, it's evil.
Hey. You lost a little bit of health, it seems.
Yeah.
You're on wave 2 as well.
Wave 2, alright, good. Yeah, oh, so we've got diamonds. What do you think diamonds do?
Ooh.
So, is it worth me waiting? Oh, multiple hits is what they do.
Okay, okay.
So the question is it worth me going up there? This is
you might have a slightly easier time on the middle layer with the bricks, because then the enemies have to funnel and jump towards you.
Yeah.
But then again, the ground seems to be working quite well. Here you've slightly outsmarted the enemies.
Oh, that's interesting. So they kind of queue up. So if I move, can I get them all at once? I wonder. They're sort of Constantine right a bit, aren't they?
Aha. You can see they spread out a little bit as they come towards you.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. All right. Wave 3. Okay, interesting. Okay, so shall we start talking about the presentation while I'm trying to
let's.
do this? We've got some square enemies. What do you think they do?
Ooh, a bit more variety. So, for the graphics, audio, and information design, I think this is quite good. It's got like a few different like default assets in there, but it's got a nice little sprite for the player and the various different level elements.
The only complaint is that there's a slight inconsistency between the pixel graphics and the kind of the sort of the abstract shape of the enemy, but I think it still works. It just kind of hang on, let's have a look at some of these. So what I've
got a few different options now.
Yeah, increase immunity, movement speed, or health. I could do with some more health, I reckon.
Sure.
Plus 25.
You've got a good amount of coins.
I have actually, haven't I? So plus, what do you think? What's the difference between attack force and attack damage?
I would presume like a knockback effect or something.
Maybe the length of that line, possibly.
That could be it as well.
All right, well, let's do. I'm going to choose one of these each time. Base attack speed. Let's go with damage. Let's do more damage.
This is a good like roguelite element in here of a shop with a reroll and varying costs for the different upgrades.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little Balatro or a little Slay the Spire or something.
Jump force plus. Okay, there we go, and we're done. Reroll cost 1. Oh, I can reroll them as well. Nice.
Yeah.
I like this. This is, I said, nice little shop interface. Oh, I've got a different level.
A different level as well.
I wasn't necessarily expecting that, I'll be honest.
And then we've got a little bit of a difference between the platforms you can and can't jump through from underneath, which comes into the sort of information design element of it. I think this is quite good. A good would be professional, complete, and effective.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's. I'm going to get whooped now. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as soon as you get faced with enemies that don't die on the first hit, it becomes quite difficult to maneuver. So the difficulty ramps up dramatically. It's like it's quite easy to deal with the single ones because it's like one shot and they're gone. But the ones where it takes 2 shots or 3 shots, all of a sudden it's quite a lot harder.
Let's
so
see.
I start right from the beginning again. That's a bit of a shame. It would have been nice to have given me the option of jumping back in.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, so I think the good level professional complete effective is right. I think the next level up is appealing, isn't it?
Impactful, complete, effective, and appealing.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure it's there. It's a little bit basic for that, but yeah, definitely effective. Yeah,
definitely effective. All right, we got a good for that category. Moving on to meaningful play.
So
yeah,
like I said, it's a little bit difficult to say. So at the moment, so I would say that, for example, here, this is obviously very easy. And there's not really a lot of meaningful play here, right? When they start coming in from the top, so I had those little diamonds, and then they mixed up a little bit with squares, then I would say yes, that was kind of meaningful play. And then I really got overwhelmed on the next level, but I'm not sure if that was just because I was getting used to it, or whether it's because it's really difficult.
It might have also been a selection of the things that you pick in the shop are quite critical towards your ability to complete the next level.
Yeah, difficult to know. So for me, it's this difference between I can just deal with these really, really simply. And like you said, you mentioned about going backwards and sort of being able to attack in the direction that you're running away from.
Yeah.
And that becomes crucial once these things appear.
You had a little bit of like strafing around the enemies, creating a little train like it's COD Zombies.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, is the edge of the screen a wall, or do you wrap around?
It's a wall.
Okay, it's a wall. Aha, you found a little AI cheesing spot.
Yeah,
I think
although
with the difficulty, that might be quite intended.
Yeah, I think so. I think that might count as one of those things that was a bug that turned out to be a bit of a feature. Yeah, because you can actually exploit that to try and make it a bit more manageable for you. There we go. Yeah, so in terms of meaningful play, I would say that it's definitely engaging, right? And the mechanics, we've got kind of different types of enemies.
How smooth do you think the controls are? Because you're in the player seat here.
They work well. Oh my life.
Goodness.
Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, they work well. I don't think it's the controls. I think it's because the attack is so short.
We'll see if that's something that changes over the course of the run, but I can see how that gets a little bit.
Let's see.
You're right up next to the damage sources.
Let's get some attack force here, because I think that might be part of the problem.
Yeah. See if you can increase. Oh yeah, immunity is an expensive one. Aha, attack range.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's cool to know that it's an option.
Yeah. Let's go back in. So I mean, what would be? So I already said it was engaging, but what would be good? What would be the description for good?
Engaging, multiple mechanics, smooth controls, and reasonable complexity may still have very minor bugs. Oh, we've got the hexagons joining us now.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the hexagons are doing other than making my
I
life
think
really
with this
miserable.
level, you might be better to pick a side than stay in the middle, because the enemies that spawn on the top platform, they kind of fall directly in rather than falling to a second platform and then coming down.
Yeah. There we go. So it's just a question of
nicely done.
Learning to use the level. Yeah. Okay, so that helps with this conversation, right? Because I think that means that it is it was just me getting used to it.
Yeah, so the level above would be fun, complementary mechanics, intuitive controls, and higher complexity, no bugs.
I think it's kind of halfway there.
Yeah.
It just, there's something about it, and it's difficult to put my finger on, that means it feels a little bit chaotic. And I'm not. I understand why they've done it for the reasons you said, but I think it's because I have to attack left and right.
Yeah.
So, for example, I wonder if they'd have made you attack left and right simultaneously at the same time. Whether that would have just been enough just to make it feel like... Because I kind of feel like I can... And again, this might be something that's just because I'm new to it, and as you learn the game, you get better at it. But I feel like I can manage the left and right attacking and the backing off, but I can't manage the jumping at the same time as I do those things. So as a result of that, I kind of feel like I'm in a slight panic constantly, as opposed to actually trying to deal skillfully with the enemies, as it were. I see. But I still think. I mean, what are the mechanics here? So we've got the collecting the coins.
Got the platforming, the sort of like running, jumping, and falling through the semi-permeable platforms.
Yeah.
You've got the shooting element and the coin collection.
Yeah.
And then you've got the interim shop where you upgrade your character.
Yeah. So I mean, so I think that's not a massive set of mechanics, but they do complement each other.
Yeah.
And I think there's no bugs. Is it of higher complexity? It's kind of, it's not of high complexity. But at the same time, it's not.
I'd be interested to see how far you can take the character in the shop, because if it's just a case of like the stats going out, that might bring it just down from that higher complexity. But if we see like an upgrade later that gives you a double jump or a shot that moves or something, I think it might tip over.
Yeah. Well, let's say for the moment then, and we can always revise this depending how far I get. Let's say halfway between the two. I mean, it's definitely a playable playable game. It's interesting. I'm engaged with it. You know, I feel like I want to go back in and have another go at that level I died on, and
It's got that arcadey quality.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, moving on to the level design, the goals, risks, and rewards.
Yes.
I think your goal is quite clear. You have the primary goal of not dying.
Is it? Yes. How long do I have to die or not die for? How long is the waves, for example? There's nothing on the waves. So I've just got to go as far as I can. I've just got to go... Yeah, all right. So that's maybe a little thing about information design. So we didn't talk too much about that. But I've got some stuff here is quite nice and clear. The coin's up in the top right. My health is... I think the health bar's in the wrong place. Because I'm spending all my time looking at the bottom of the screen.
That's a fair point. It could be like in the little negative space where the brickwork currently is.
I think that would be better. But it's there. And I think the enemies are very clearly differentiated. You know, you can tell them apart, and you very quickly learn the difference between them. So I know that those triangles are, you know, twice as tough as those diamonds. Sorry, are twice as tough as the triangles. So the information isn't bad at all. And
then the risk and reward element of it. So there's a certain amount of risk and reward in the kiting, I think. Because you can choose between like kind of running at your enemies and trying to kill them as much as you can versus taking a more defensive approach and training them around the obstacles that are available to you.
Yeah, I think that's sort of a little bit built into the game. Is there much other risk? Is there any deliberate risk and reward though? I mean, in terms of, there's. Like, for example...
There's re-rolling in the... Sorry, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, for example, I would say that one of the things that possibly make this better would be if there was some reason for me to go up on those platforms up above. Right?
Yeah.
So,
like a power-up or something.
A power-up or a super coin that's worth a lot. Right? Just something that... Oops. Something that kind of makes it worth me doing that jump. You know, or a health, you know, just to get my health back. So I think there's risk and reward sort of inherent in the game, in terms of, you know, my time. Do I kind of wait? But there's no. Like, here we go. So we're in status now, right?
Yeah. This is checkmate for the enemy.
I mean, yeah. There's no consequence to me waiting, right?
That could be a thing of the condition of whether the next wave spawns could be communicated visually rather than it just being the last enemy. You could have the last enemy or a timer, sort of like whichever condition happens first.
Yes, because I think kind of... because it feels... So I'm sort of not... I'm not moaning so much that this happens. I'm just saying that this kind of means that the risk element feels a little bit underplayed, I think.
One thing, though, that I was going to add earlier, in the shop, having a reroll element does introduce a certain amount of risk and reward, because once you've had a few playthroughs of the game and, like, understand what upgrades are available in the pool, you might instead risk some of your coin to get one of the upgrades that you know you're going to need.
Yeah, so I'm gonna so for example here, I'm gonna re-roll because I want to get damage and I suppose I might as well get that while we're here. I want to get attack distance because I think that's quite an important one. Attack range, there we go, that's what I meant. Attack range. Oh, I can't afford it anymore. It's annoying. There we go.
May as well get some force.
So let's see.
But yeah.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. That's a much bigger attack range, right?
It's not necessarily jam-packed with different risks and rewards, but I think it's got at least two different ways in which that it describes those to the player and allows you some agency.
I do think, though, I think it's a shame that they didn't do a little bit more in the level itself. Because you're right, it's there, but like I said, it feels like a little bit inherent in the in the where do you go in the level, and how do you deal with the enemies. And like you said, it is there in the shop, but yeah, it could be more emphasized. I mean, what would be a satisfactory?
A satisfactory in this case is coherent set of goals, risks, and rewards. And then in order to bump it up or down, it would be a clear and coherent set or a limited set of goals, risks, and rewards.
Yeah. So, it feels to me like it's not quite clear and coherent. I
can give a satisfactory for that.
But I think the satisfactory is probably fine. Yeah, for what they've got.
And then the pacing.
Very grateful, by the way, for my very, very long attack range.
Yeah, this seems to be the run.
Seems to be doing right for me. Okay, yeah. So, yeah. Next up, we said pacing.
Yes.
So there's definitely an increase in difficulty. We come from obviously there's the tutorial bit at the beginning that's not effectively not really a level. Takes you through the stuff. But then the very first level, they're all attacking from the bottom, and then I get the gradual introduction. I did find it go up quite steeply, but I'm getting better at dealing with it now, and I wouldn't say it's easy by any means, but it's I'm still not jumping around now. I do feel it's a little bit of a shame. I'm using the level, but I'm using the level to manage the enemies, not jumping around. So it feels, I suppose it comes back to that thing about I wish they put something up there so it felt more of a there was more motivation to actually explore and move around a bit.
Incentivize that player going up.
Let's get more range.
One thing that I will comment on the sort of rising tension is it's not just a linear rise, because the waves of a given level start relatively easy and then get harder, and then you get the shop, which gives you a little breathing point, and then you go back in at a relatively lower difficulty and raise to a second higher peak.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of the devil, you might have a little bit more reason to climb the level here, because it seems the safest spot might be those upper stairs.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. Is it though?
Then again, you are cleaning up here in the corner.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried if I do that. I do think it's just I think the problem I'm doing is there's a little bit of a dominant strategy, which is to stay at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
And that's why some more incentive to move around would be good. Those things are horrible. I'm dead.
Oof.
There we go. So maybe that's why I should have been in the middle. Yeah, no, I think you're right. So it not only do the levels get more difficult, but then there's a lull at the beginning of the level where they introduce some new enemies, or they give you time to adjust to the new level, because the actual structure of the level is very serious in terms of where the enemies come from. It makes a big impact. And then they introduce the new enemies. I think that might be the place where they've got the difficulty thing a bit wrong. I think it's they introduce the new enemies, and I wouldn't mind betting that you'll die the first time you meet every new enemy, because they pile them on, and what they should do is introduce one or two so you know how they behave, and then start to increase the numbers. And I think what's happening is when I'm going back in, I know how the new enemies behave, and therefore I immediately adapt to them. So I think they've done a good job with the pacing. I agree with you. I think. I mean, what would a good be?
So a good would be tension rises over time in a coherent pattern, and to bring it to excellent, it would be a coherent and well balanced pattern.
I think it is. I think. I think it is. I think kind of. I would say that, I mean, a prizeworthy would be linked to variations in gameplay, and although there is new enemies, I wouldn't say that introduces variations in gameplay. And I also think that the difficulty jumps aren't quite as smooth as they could be. But I think an excellent is still deserved for a nicely designed set of levels.
Yeah.
So let's try and I'm just going to try a different strategy just for let's try going up here and see what happens.
So here, I think, yeah, because the enemies will jump after you, but they won't exactly pathfind towards you. They just grab your like
Yeah.
X position and then determine whether they need to jump or not. So you could do some interesting like enemy farming.
Mm.
It does remove a little bit of the game, you know,
Yeah.
the agency of the player. You don't actually need to play
No.
until the end in this strategy.
So yeah, I think this is a little bit problematic, and this comes back to the meaningful play bit, right? And I know we said it's a feature, not a bug, but they need to be spotting stuff like this. I mean, this is kind of, yeah, okay, it is a strategy and it works, but it's a strategy that makes the game less interesting.
From what I can tell, it works for Wave 1, because Wave 2 is when they start bringing some enemies from a bit higher up. But true, it is an exploit, or an exploitable part of the design.
Let's see what happens. So these guys are going to come from the top now. Yeah, okay. So I think that we're there for pacing, right?
Yeah. Shall we think about the tutorial?
Yes. So the tutorial. So I got sort of a tutorial section,
Yeah.
which I think was pretty nice, where it kind of took me through. It kind of gave me the opportunity to do all the things it was telling me about as we went. I thought that was
Yeah.
good.
What I liked about it is it like developed the level as the player did the things.
That's right, yeah. It kind of, and got me to activate those bits, so that was good. And then we're into the main game, and there's still stuff to teach me in the main game,
Yeah.
which is to do with the... just to try my new strategy, see if this is any way works.
The different enemy varieties and the shop elements and stuff,
Yeah.
they're more tutorialized through the gameplay than right at the beginning. But I think it
Yeah.
works quite effectively because
So
they're brought on
Yeah.
one by one.
So the shop thing I think could be tutorialized a little bit more neatly, because
True.
it kind of just dumps you in, and you have to sort of figure it out. So there's not even any explanation and explanatory stuff, and you don't actually know what the different things mean. So I still don't know what some of those upgrades mean, right? So I think that could be slightly better done. And then the enemies, as I said, I don't think there's a problem with letting you figure them out in the level, but I think they need to introduce them sparingly before they introduce waves and waves of them, right? So that way it helps you understand and learn to deal with them, right? So one thing that might have been quite nice to do would be to introduce them as like as the boss of one level before you introduce them as the main bad guys of the next level, if that makes sense.
So have like a wave of exclusively the new enemy type rather than including it with the old enemy types as well and stacking
Yeah,
them.
or just kind of do it a bit more gently, so you kind of so you kind of get to deal with one or two of them in amongst the others. You learn them, but yeah. So I think you're kind of a little bit flung into the deep end, but it's not that deep. They've done most of the heavy lifting at the beginning. So I mean,
So to give you
yeah.
a point to start with, a satisfactory would be gradual explanation of gameplay and controls, somewhat aligned with play,
So I think
and
that,
then a
so,
good
yeah.
would be fully aligned.
So I think that the tutorial section is fully aligned, and the rest of it is somewhat aligned, right?
Yeah, so we get a midpoint between the two.
Yeah, I think so. So what else was I finding useful last time? So I don't really think any of these were particularly useful. I don't know what does attack. No idea what that does. Let's re-roll. Okay, base attack speed. So that I think would be useful. So let's get
Yeah.
speed. Yeah. Oh, actually, my reroll goes up.
Your
each one.
immunity might be something, because I've noticed when you've died, it's always been in a case where the enemies have rapidly like hit you multiple times.
Right. Okay.
When you start with just a touch of immunity.
So that's not much immunity though, is it? Like an extra.
No. You increase it by 25%.
Oh no, there's my attack range and I can't afford it anymore. Right, let's do it.
I may have kneecapped your strategy.
That's all right. Let's see what happens. Yeah. So I think does that take us on to the next one?
Yeah, so I'll open up the document and we can talk about the core dynamic.
So
Do you
my
want to take a stab at it?
so my assumption would be survival, because I have
And that would be
to.
correct.
There's some other stuff going on. Obviously, there's collection, there's destruction, but I'm destroying in order to survive. Ugh. I think this is a case of my. Last time I did this, I think my upgrades really helped me. Yeah. But actually they've done a nice job of those other dynamics. The coins obviously help me buy new stuff that make me survive more. The destruction lets me get rid of enemies so I survive more. So they've done a nice
Yeah.
job of creating something which is really focused and well aligned. They maybe could have emphasized in like here the game over screen. It's almost like I planned it. Here at this game over screen, there's nothing to say how far I got through, right?
Yeah, this could use a little polish in terms of giving feedback or like a score or something like
Yeah.
that.
So something along the lines of so there's different levels and then there's waves within the levels. So I think it could something like you got through this many enemy waves, or you made it to level 3 on wave whatever, right? And so
Yeah.
that, and even like a high score table, old fashioned those are, right? I think kind of would have emphasized it. But other than that, I mean, I think they've done a really nice job of kind of making it clear that that is the core dynamic. Everything leans in that direction.
Yeah. They've
what-
got a little paragraph here and a nice diagram, actually.
Okay.
So our core dynamic is survival. This is because our game consists of killing waves of enemies with no health regeneration during each level. This is supported by combat, where our primary mechanic is to kill enemies by swinging a sword to survive. There are also elements of trading, where killed enemies drop coins, and coins are spent on upgrades and items to make the player stronger. However, there are only limited coins, so players have to make decisions on what items to buy in the shop. Items are randomly generated, and the player can pick one of 3 before the shop refreshes all options. There is also a reroll option that costs increasingly more coins. Player health is also refreshed in the shop. In response to player progression, we also made the enemies stronger as the player progresses through different levels, so there's an element of challenge to encourage the player to move around and kill enemies. The enemies will swarm the player, so you must walk around to avoid the enemies and survive. And then they've got a little chart here of their mechanics. Jumping and walking come together to create a bit of a spatial reasoning supporting dynamic.
Yeah.
Coin collection and item buying make a trading supporting dynamic, and the sword swinging creates the sort of combat element, and the combat, trading, and spatial reasoning come together to support survival as their main dynamic.
I don't think I disagree with any of that. I think they've done a nice job. I mean, I'm guessing they've hit the good, but what's the good level?
So, a good level would be a clear core dynamic that is supported by the primary mechanics. I think they got that with flying colours.
Yeah, no problem. So
Excellent. A clear core dynamic is supported by an integrated set of mechanics.
And I think so. I think because the killing the enemy gives you coins, the coins let you trade up, etc.
And then prizeworthy, a clear core dynamic that is supported by an integrated set of mechanics and other dynamics. And I think they quite have that as well.
I think so. And I think actually in this case they have more than one set of supporting dynamics. So they've done a really nice job. Yeah, excellent. Really, really well done.
Excellent work, team. I'll give you a full prizeworthy. So
that takes us on to the feedback, doesn't it?
Yes.
So interested to see what they said.
Here we go. They've got this in the format of what they've implemented and what they've not implemented, rather than directly the feedback. So I'll have to reverse engineer this just a little bit.
Okay. That's a shame. It would be nice to know exactly what they said.
So make the coins disappear after a set amount of time. They have implemented that. Game spawns a lot of enemies for the player to kill, and the enemies drop coins after they die. Therefore, many coins will be left on the screen if not collected. They've got a 5-second timer. That's cool. I could see that as a thing of it adds to the risk and reward if you've got to run after the coins.
Yeah.
use a better visual indication of the one-way platforms. The old design are just solid blocks, which only makes it clear that the player can stand on it, but not pass through it from below. We improved the one-way platforms. Nice. I think that's well adjusted.
Yeah, that's worked very well, actually. Yeah.
Implemented, randomize the jump heights and the speeds of the different types of enemies. The old design had enemies follow the player at the same speed. If the player continually moves left and right, the enemies will stack together and look as if they're one enemy. Implemented by making different enemies have different move speeds and jump heights, so that they're less likely to get stacked together.
And we saw that, right?
Some enemies have the ability to fly. I don't think we've seen that yet.
We did. The circle enemies came in and they were flying.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Much to my horror.
They've got a couple other ones here of not implemented, but if they're not implemented, then they're not super relevant to the marks.
Yeah, I think so. It's an interesting one here. It's a shame they didn't actually say what their feedback was, because
oh, sorry. It is at the top of the sort of end thing of make coins disappear at the set amount of time, randomize the jump heights. So it's more what they did.
But that's what I mean. So I don't know what their actual feedback was. So because part of the thing we're interested in is how they interpreted the feedback, right? And it feels unlikely to me that a demonstrator would have said something as concrete as make the coins disappear, right? They'd have said something like, oh, you have a problem here that this is happening, and then they have to figure out how to solve it, right?
So I can't speak for all of these, but I remember that I was the one who gave the piece of feedback about randomizing the jump heights and speeds.
Right.
I gave that as a potential example, but I said have some way of like differentiating the enemies when they stack up.
Yeah. So okay. So I think we can say that they probably have managed to create an effective set, but it's difficult to ascertain how much they've kind of interpreted and what the actual problem was that they got. But nevertheless, what would a good be for the feedback?
Feedback has been addressed and the changes have been successful.
So I think we can give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt and say yes.
Yeah.
They've obviously got some feedback and what they've done has clearly worked. And in fact, some of the stuff we've noticed, right? So like the enemies not stacking up cleanly and kind of beginning to separate. We noticed that. It was definitely something we picked out. So
to push it above, it would be interpreted and addressed. And I think there leaves a little bit to desire here on the interpretation element.
Yeah, that's the problem basically. It's difficult to know what they interpreted, and so I don't think we can award them that. But I still think it's good. I think they've done a really nice job. Okay, so I mean that's the end of the scheme. So what's your kind of thoughts on this one?
I think overall this is a very good game. I think that the core elements have been quite well developed, and mostly what it's lacking is a couple of quality of life and polish features.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. It's actually really quite playable. So like sometimes when we get to this bit at the end where we're sort of summing up, I would stop playing so I can talk, and I'm playing because I've got to one of the harder levels. I've managed to upgrade myself in a way that I wanted. Look at that nice long attack range, and it's something I'm keen to play. So I agree with you completely. I think they've done a really nice job, and I think we've had some niggles all the way through various things because that's what we're here for, but it's very nicely done. I think the only thing I would say that would be they really ought to address it. Oh, there's those circles there we go. They really ought to address it is giving you some reason to come up into the top of the level, right? And it just desperately needed something like a power up or just if they don't want to do that, just a super coin, right? Just something that's worth 10 coins that was just in the level that occasionally dropped down that motivated you to move around the level a little bit. And that would immediately make those levels much more interesting, and it would immediately make you question that dominant strategy of staying at the bottom and hiding under the things and all the rest of it, and give you a reason to push forward. And I think that would be a really trivial change that would make the game a lot more strategic and have a lot more depth. But yeah, really good. Really good fun to play.
Especially in the core dynamic. I think that as a one to have completed the brief of this coursework in terms of core dynamic, smashed it out of the park.
Yeah. And of course, the other big criticism is give it a name, right? If it's this good, it deserves a name, right? Coursework 1 is too bland, yeah. But yeah, well done, team. Good job. Shall we move on to the next game? Okay, so our next game is called Temple of Treasure. So that sounds promising. Aha! Temple of Treasure. Play quick. I've got some A.
Is that aspect ratio coming through quite right?
Probably would guess not. So I'm running a standard 1080 resolution to try and make it nice and standard for people, rather than my normal horrible widescreen resolution. But yeah, even so, let's see what happens when we play.
If not, we can run it in the editor.
Well, I think it looks okay.
This seems serviceable.
Yeah, so I've got
one of the 3D games.
Yeah, and the aspect ratio. So I've got dollars in the top left and deaths in the top right. WASD, they were on the columns, so to move around.
The runes of WASD.
Yeah. That's like an ominous. Oh, my legs broke and fall down. I lay here forever, unable to press space to jump.
That's good. That's good. A little bit of comedy in there.
Yeah.
With the nice brat green background.
Oh, okay. So I can.
Some coins.
Some coins. No sound effect when I pick up the coin, which is a shame because it'd be nice to get a bit of feedback. I'm not sure if I've actually got it. I've got to look.
Oh. We got the boop on the jump, but no ping on the coins. Oh, yeah. Death. Right. Nice.
So okay. I've kept my coins. Okay. Oh, they haven't reappeared. So I've still got them from last time.
Once you jump, are you set on that path, or how much kind of air strafe do you get?
I think I can move around quite freely. Let's have a look. Yeah.
Yeah, cool, nice.
So yeah, you get lots of maneuverability. Oh, I think it's a first of all it's quite a floaty jump, but the second of all your movement. So you can move around in the air, but you carry on moving in the direction you last hit, even after you stopped.
Oh.
So if I jump forward now, like I land on the edge of the platform and I immediately have to press backwards. That makes sense?
A little bit of counter strafing.
So, which I'm finding quite unintuitive, but it's not necessarily wrong. Just got to get used to it. Okay.
Nice. A little bit of an ultra kill inspired end to the level.
Okay, got a sort of thing going on.
Ooh, you got some branching paths, some player choices.
Okay, so some, and then a thing at the end which looks appealing. So is that an option? So I can go in there if I want to.
Presumably.
Okay. Oh yeah, I can. And there's a thing.
Collect it. That gave you $100.
Ah, okay. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, I like that little bit of risk reward there.
Nice.
So, there's another one there.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I see.
Now, it would require you dying, but something I'm curious about is when during that animation do the spikes become threats? Is it the moment the tip of the triangle comes out?
Oh, yes it is, as I just demonstrated.
Uh-huh.
And again.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, just about see it on the floor.
That is a nice touch.
Okay. Alright, so go, I guess. So that's the way I can. So I've got to go this way. Ooh. They're great. I like those.
Feeling very Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Do I push that in?
Ooh.
Is that, let's open the door at the end.
Ah,
So-
because it shares the sort of pattern on the surface, I think.
Yeah. Again, I'm really missing audio feedback. So I wanted like a stone scraping. Oh, there we go. And it's coming down again. So
It's probably a timed thing.
yeah. So I really could have done with a noise. There we go.
Nicely done.
So through there. What's up here?
Ooh. Now you've got...
Alas, my wing boots have failed me. Now they're going to give me an extra hop in the air. My only hope of returning is lost. So I got a double jump, basically.
I'll tell you what, I do very much appreciate
Yeah.
that instead of, like, the tutorial entity saying, press space to jump, now
Yeah.
that you have double boots, now that you have boots, you can double jump, you
Yeah.
actually have some, like, in-universe corpses that, even if
Yeah.
they're a little, like, silly,
And-
goofy with it, they give you some flavour.
And actually, I saw that and I thought, that's cool. That's going to tell me something, right? So even having
Yeah.
just seen the first one, I was immediately like, right, that's a cool thing. Let's go over there. Yeah, that's really effective. I like that a lot. So I'm gonna struggle with this because I've got that horrible floaty jump thing going on that I'm really struggling with. And again, I'm not quite sure whether this is a general fault or whether it's just me. There we go. Am I supposed to... Oh, I'm supposed to get up there. Crikey. Okay. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of...
Excellent.
and then... see, there's another one. What's he going to tell me? Grapple hook. Press E to swing.
Ooh. Now I'm intrigued.
E to swing?
Aha!
But, okay. And it's taking me down here again. Oh, okay. So, and then am I supposed to swing across there?
Have you ever played one of these sort of 3D swinger games like Verlet Swing or A Story About My Uncle?
No, I've played 3D adventure games with a swinging mechanic. Even things like Ghost of Tsushima, for example. But yeah, nothing like that. So, there's a coin up there. Is that telling me that I can swing up there? Do you think?
Likely, yeah. You can attach yourself to the ceiling.
I didn't go well.
And there you go.
I just immediately fell off and died. So I'm not quite sure how this works. So it just takes me up there and then drops me. Right.
And it seems you got like a little pendulum momentum with that associated. But it's mostly it just brings you to,
Okay.
grappling hook.
And then over there. So, and how far does it go? That was a bad example. Up here.
You saved it.
Yeah. Crikey. Okay, now I understand how it works. I thought it would swing, but it doesn't swing.
Yeah.
It just...
It's more of a direct
It takes you direct to the place. And it also goes quite a long way. So it just kind of almost like teleports you to a spot. Oh, what's that? That's exciting. Oh, that's bad. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, it's no way
By the looks of it, there's a certain amount of like auto aim on the grapple because it doesn't fire exactly where your cursor is if you don't have something that it can attach to.
So I've got two options here, both of which looks awful. I've got what's going on there? That's a kind of strange.
I reckon that's just a texture issue where
That's what I'm
Unity's
wondering,
loaded something.
Is that just a because it looks simultaneously like a missing texture, and some kind of wacky thing that should be in here. Okay, so that's my exit presumably. But if I press that, does that match that exit? No, it's a different exit.
So it's definitely done something, but elsewhere.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have that sort of sound effect as you mentioned
Uh,
earlier.
oh,
Whoopsie. Yeah.
oh,
Oh, oh.
I think I might be in trouble. There we go.
Okie doke.
Right, let's try
No
go.
soft lock.
Let's try go this way. Uh,
I might suggest just running for this one, doing a little bit of the regular walk and stop.
Yeah, the stop bit was
So there's
quite
a little
important.
section in the middle.
There is, isn't
Yeah.
there? All right, let's give that a go. Shall we start talking about presentation?
Yeah, let's. I think this is quite good. I think that we're in a nicely
Oh,
thematically
crikey.
set kind of dungeon location with all of the various death traps like that.
Wow,
We've got the skeleton tutorial man.
that's quite
Um,
quite the thing.
I think
Yeah.
in terms of graphics, it hits the mark. I think in terms of audio, it's got a few different elements, but it needs a little bit of meat on the bones, so to speak.
Now it's making me go back and get the button. Oh, what's that?
The
over
visual
there?
information, or the information design rather, I think is quite good as well. All of the things that kill are quite
Yeah.
obviously, you know, obstacles. You've got
Yeah.
the various different coins and also the gems to denote like collectibles of a higher value. You've got doors that match their buttons. I
Yeah.
think that's important.
Little Easter egg section here as well. That's quite
Yeah.
cute. Off to the side. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on, and it's really rather nicely done, isn't it?
So, professional, complete, and effective would be a good, and then impactful, complete, effective, and appealing would be an excellent. I'd give this an excellent
that's bad.
straight up if it weren't for the slight lack of audio.
Yeah. Oh dear.
So,
It's going horribly wrong.
perhaps a good to an excellent.
Well, yeah, the audio thing is yeah. I think that's right. I'm trying to think if there's a way of kind of. I also appear to have. Yeah, there we go. It's obviously decided that it should just put me back here again. Yeah, I think you're right. I really like it. The audio stuff is a little bit of a shame. There's no music either. I've got a little bit of sound effects, but I haven't got sound effects on. I think it's my walking. It's that bup 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 noise. But actually, the things
Yeah.
that would be really important, like the swoosh of this thing to warn me it's there, or a tinkly ping, when I pick up a gem or something, right? These are feedback that actually would really matter, and they're kind of missing. But I think in terms of the atmosphere, in terms of
Now
kind
that
of,
I'm thinking on it, I'm talking myself into thinking of the excellent, because just the graphical design of it is quite nice.
oh dear, yeah. I mean, well, put it this way: what would be a prize worthy?
A prize worthy would be memorable, complete, effective, and appealing, with novel or especially creative elements.
So I think the reason that you're in a quandary is because the graphics element of this is probably at that level, right?
Yeah.
So maybe what we should be saying is if we've got information design that's sort of good, we've got kind of sound that's a bit inadequate, but we've got sort of prize-worthy graphics, maybe we can justify an excellent mark.
I think so.
I keep forgetting to press the button. I keep doing a run for it and
Okie doke. Meaningful play. The mechanics, controls, and bugs. They're very minor bugs, if anything. So I think that is we've got a good and consistent playable game. The hook shot, it works better than I would have expected, because I know that hook shots and like swinging around in 3D, it's an absolute art to make it feel right, to make it feel like the right amount of like floaty versus weighty. So credit on them for not getting bugs in that.
Yeah.
So a good would be engaging, multiple mechanics, smooth controls, and reasonable complexity. May still have very minor bugs. An excellent would be fun, complementary mechanics, intuitive controls, and higher complexity. No bugs.
Oh no! It put me back here again. Sorry.
Oh,
Just made it through the door, and then I overshot and died. Yeah, I think so. What mechanics we got? We got the grapple, we got the jump, the double jump, we've got the moving spikes, we've got the shooty spikes, we've got the collection coins,
The swinging ball.
the swinging ball. We got a bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah, I'd say they're also quite complementary. The
Yeah.
mechanics.
Yes, they are. I think kind of. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm doing that the best way ever. But
For a little context, Prizeworthy would be wonderful, flawless execution, higher complexity with complementary mechanics and smooth controls, no bugs. I think they're doing quite well, but I don't know if they've got the flawless execution.
yes, I think that's right. So there's a lot going on. My only criticism. Oh, I see. I can go up there, and then it's saying you can collect these extra coins. That's a nice risk reward bit as well. Look, but then I've got to turn around and grapple back. Seeing as it's such a pain to get here, I'm not going to do that.
Whoosh.
This is the Indiana Jones section, but this is what I mean about there's no noise. So like, it's just a shame that they've. There we go. Can I go back up? Where's the next? Where do I go next?
I think I'd be quite comfortable giving this an excellent for meaningful play, though.
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, I've got a little bit stuck here. Where next do you think? I've come up here. Do you think this is just the Easter egg bit?
I think so. I think you might need to go down the ramp.
But is there anything down the ramp? Oh dear. Oh, I think that was bad. Oh, at least it's put me back here again. Get me out of here.
Looks like there was something down there.
It does, doesn't it?
Whether that was the intended path or a side path. You might also have a little luck dodging the boulder. Oh, okay. Boulder goes up to the ceiling. You can't just grapple to the ceiling.
No. So there's definitely a thing
Interesting.
up there. I'm just trying to... Oh! I made it, but only because I'd passed the point where if you die you respawn.
Aha.
So, okay, I think it was up there, but it stopped. So here I've got...
So...
Oh, there's my button up there. Great, thanks for that. And then over here, yeah, okay. So it looks like I have to hit this button, and then grapple out again, and then run across here to get out of the door. Let's go and find the door first, shall we?
It's clearly quite an engaging game, just to drag us a little bit back towards the mark scheme.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Fulfilling the brief.
Oh, it's good, definitely good.
Let's talk about the level design, the goals, risks, and rewards. So I think we've spoken about this a few times as it's just kind of naturally come up in the gameplay. The developers of this game have clearly thought about having risk and reward present in like a lot of different locations. There's branching paths where you go and collect money, and you have a slightly more difficult or an interesting bit of platforming and swinging to complete to get the unlockable, well, not unlockables, but the collectibles.
Yes. Yeah, they've done a nice job. There's some very explicit bits in here, which are sort of, do this extra little bit that's really difficult. There's the
in terms
door.
of
What's going on here?
little bit of coin bug.
Interesting.
In terms of the goals, it's you progress through the levels. It's not a particularly linear progression, so you've got the sort of side goals of the collectibles.
Yeah. I've got lost now. What's over there? Oops. Oh. Oop. That didn't work. Yeah, so let's talk about the goals for a second. So what is my goal?
Your goal is to progress through the dungeon, I would say.
So why am I collecting coins?
That's true.
And
whether those are just a score.
And why is it counting my deaths?
I think the death counter is going to be something of a bragging rights at the end of I've completed the game with this many deaths. I'm not sure whether we'll eventually get some secondary use of the money, or whether that's just for bragging rights as well.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Why is it going over there as well? Kind of. That's sort of. That's a bit. Yeah. So okay, let's talk about the goals for a second then. So I'm not sure my goals are clear, right? Yeah, I've got to. I mean, it looks like I have to escape, I guess, but do I have to escape in the minimum number of deaths, or is that just out for information? Why am I collecting money? What's the point of that? It just feels like, it almost feels tacked on, right? It's like I'm solving this puzzle to get out of here. So I think my goals are a little bit ambiguous, actually.
Yeah.
And that's kind of ironic, because most people get the goals really right and then they mess up the risks and rewards. And here I think that the goal is problematic, and then the risks and rewards element works really well, apart from the fact that the reward they're giving me is money, and I don't know why I'm getting the money, right? But so I think there's some really nice sections here where they've used the level design to say, look, you can go off and do this difficult thing.
So to give some goalposts for this, the difference between the satisfactory, good, and excellent are a coherent set of goals, risks, rewards, a clear and coherent set, or a clear, coherent, and well-balanced set of goals, risks, and rewards.
So I think what we have here is certainly a clear and coherent set of risks and rewards, right? Are they well balanced? It's difficult to know because we don't know what the money thing does. So I think because of that, probably not. And then the goals are
just a little unclear.
So they're maybe halfway between satisfactory and good, perhaps.
I'd say so.
Right. So there's a bunch of money up there, which I can see, and also the grapple. Going back to the controls, the grapple thing not going straight is sort of a bit strange. Because it's normally okay. Occasionally it kills me, but that's not the end of the world in this game because you just respawn. The one place where I think...
To test my theory, if you look at a corner where your grappling shot doesn't technically have anything to grapple onto, and then just it has something nearby that you can grapple onto, does it sort of auto-correct it to the left?
You mean like an edge?
Yeah, if you place yourself, like, parallel with a wall, basically, and then shoot it just to the right in the empty space. Yeah, like that. Or a bit further to the right. Yeah. So I'm wondering what causes it to not be a straight shot. Sorry, I've killed you. Great.
No, I don't know. And there's some places where it seems a bit odd that I can't do it. Like, where am I going? So that's not the right way. Is it up there? Was that the one? Was that the... No, that was the one with the sort of the Easter eggy bit. Oh, that's interesting. It took me over here.
While you're continuing on
like
with
there.
that...
There, like...
Yeah.
Just sort of misshot.
I'm going to have a little think about the pacing.
Yeah, okay. So I like the pacing, actually. I've kind of... It's introduced different elements as we've gone through the game. We'll get to that in the tutorial bit, but...
We've got the double jump.
That adds complexity as we've gone through. The levels have definitely got more complex and more difficult. I am a bit stuck on this one. I think the problem I've got here... First of all, I keep forgetting where the thing is. It's here, isn't it? Oh, see, I've done it again. Like, why did it shoot off to the side? Odd. Okay, that's released me. So here I'm having a real problem, right? Do I land on that, do you think? Is that what I'm getting wrong? Nope. If I land on it, I die. So how am I supposed to activate that?
Oh, you have a double jump, right? So if you... there you go.
There you go.
Okay.
Nope. Okay.
You've not lost the double jump, right?
Nope, it's still there.
Okay, cool.
So, alright, so if I shoot it... but then it does that, right? That's the problem. So if it shoots directly, I'm good. No.
So, saying this with no mean-spiritedness, we have given the meaningful play section an excellent, which says no bugs.
Yeah.
Now that we've had a little longer to experience the grappling hook,
Yeah. There we go. We've got through.
I don't think that brings it down to a good, but I might bring it in between the two.
I think that's fair. Let's see what the skeleton's got to say. Boxes can activate buttons too. If only I could find one to grapple. Ah. Okay, so it looks like I've done a thing. But again, I'm not getting any feedback. Alright, let's go and find out what that does. Oh my heavens above, right. That was
Jump
mean.
scare.
Right. Okay.
So to get a mark for the pacing, by the way,
Yeah.
would we say that the tension rises over time in a coherent pattern? Or in a coherent and well-balanced pattern?
So I would say that the tension definitely rises over time. Oh, that is irritating.
So that gets at the satisfactory for sure.
Yeah. And I would say that is it coherent? I think it's coherent because it's introducing new elements. So it introduces elements and it kind of builds up. So I think that puts it at the good level at least. So is it well balanced? Do we feel that things are being introduced at the right rate? That there's a and are the elements being used? I would say probably. I'm not entirely sure. Like, see what is going on with this grapple. I mean, does it actually? If I grapple it, does it actually bring it to me? Yes.
It does. Okay.
Yeah. But then, how am
So
I
if you
supposed
get
to...
back over to the button area and grapple it towards, yeah.
Yeah. So I think what I need to do is I think what I'm supposed to do.
Remember the double jump? Yeah.
Yeah. Is I think I'm supposed to. Get it gradually across here.
Yeah.
And then stick it on the button. But I think because of the grapple bug, I'm going to struggle. Oops. So let's. All right. So yeah. So where were we with pacing?
We were just figuring out whether it is tension rises over time in a coherent pattern or a coherent and well-balanced pattern.
So I think it's I think it's well balanced. I think kind of
yeah.
There's enough going on. So if I've now got it a bit closer, I wonder if it works. Sort of. How am I supposed to bring it up here?
Maybe you double jump and grapple at the peak of the second jump.
Oh, I can't look straight down.
Ah.
I do that. Nope.
Oh, and then it shoots sideways.
Right, let's try. Yeah, okay, so where does that take us next? So if I stand on the back
The
of
tutorial. So we saw more of that at the beginning, just casting my mind back.
I've lost it now, by the way. It just disappeared into the wall.
Ah.
Oh. Yeah, so the tutorial. But basically the tutorial is we've got the WASD on the wall that gets us started.
Yep.
And then we met the skeleton, and we had no option but to hit the skeleton because it was led across our path. So that was a nice little touch. Yeah, I think the controls are now getting problematic. Because the floaty jump makes this really difficult. The grapple being a bit buggy makes it almost impossible. Yeah, and in fact, I think my box is now inside there.
Aha. It's collided with the platform.
Yeah, it got dragged into the actual... It's in that box.
Aha.
So I think, unless I grapple like that, we'll put it out. And nope, it just takes me up there. Ugh. Yeah, okay, so that's a shame. So, but we're almost there. We're almost there.
In terms of the tutorial, gradual explanation of gameplay and controls, somewhat aligned with play, fully aligned with play, or fully aligned with play and sometimes communicated through the level design.
I think fully aligned through play and sometimes communicated through level design.
Yeah.
So, and that's because we're given the mechanism to like even here we've been introduced to the button and we've been introduced to the block, and then to progress we have to do it. They've made that first one a little bit tough, I still think what they should have done is had a nice simple one in the like have two chambers where the first one is just a simple case of dragging it over the block, and then we get into this chamber where it becomes more complex.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way.
For reference, prizeworthy would be the fully aligned with play and communicated through level design, like all of the time, as opposed to some of the time.
Yeah, and I don't think it is quite there, but I think they've done a very nice job. I would put it at the excellent level, I think.
Nice.
And that takes us to the core dynamic.
All right. Do you want to take a stab at it before I read the document?
Oh well. This is where the goals thing comes in, right? Because the death thing, but it's not really survival. There's money, but it's not really collection. It's probably a spatial reasoner. I would say.
So, what they've written: our core dynamic involves platforming using a variety of movement methods. The player unlocks the ability to double jump and use a grappling hook as mechanics to help solidify the core dynamic.
Yeah.
The game also acts as a collectathon, encouraging players to explore to find treasure. Furthermore, the player must also dodge obstacles such as spike balls, dart traps, and boulders to survive exploring a temple.
Yeah, that's a problematic description, right? Because that not only makes me think that they don't know what the core dynamic is. Oh, and I think I've gone in a wall now. Can I grapple?
They may have misunderstood the definition of it from the lectures.
I don't think they even understand what core dynamic means. So, I mean, a platformer is a genre, and this is a 3D platformer. The core dynamic
might be a get to the end.
Yeah, I mean,
race to the end.
It could be, but there's no timer. So the core dynamic is kind of like the main thing that the player is engaged with. What are they trying to achieve, right? And if it was a collection game, then it would be about collecting stuff, and we would either have a target or we would have sets of things we needed to collect, right? So in Pokemon, you're collecting Pokemon. In I'm trying to think of other kind of collection games, but there's sort of you're collecting sets of things, or the building the collection is the main focus of the game. That's not the case here, right? The main focus here is to try and navigate and get through the level, so it's a spatial reasoner, right? And I think the irony is that actually the game itself does a pretty good job of being a spatial reasoner. Right. If you got rid of the $820 at the top and the death 65, right, and instead you said something like number of levels negotiated, right?
Yeah.
And maybe on each level there's a bronze, silver, or gold, depending on the number of coins you got on that level, right? And it actually told you the number of gold. It showed you that as a ranking, right? So it wasn't just you've done 10 levels. It's like you've done 4 gold levels and 3 silver levels and 3 bronze levels or something, right? Then it starts to come together a little bit, right? And it's like, oh, okay, so my objective is to try and complete as many levels at gold as I can, right? And to do that, I have to get the coins, and that means the risk-reward thing's working, and now it all starts to gel. But by giving me these sort of ambiguous targets, it's not quite clear what's going on. So if you got rid of those two things, and you just had this as it was, it would be a pretty reasonable spatial reasoner, because I've got lots of interesting stuff to figure out. How do I negotiate around the level? How do I collect the bits I need to collect? But yeah, it is a shame that they kind of don't quite articulate that. I mean,
for the purposes of marking, how do we want to do this? Do we want to assume that spatial reasoning is their core, or
I think we should. That's probably going to give them the best mark. So that's probably what we should do, right? So, what would be a satisfactory?
A clear core dynamic that is partially supported by the primary mechanics.
So I would say that's where we are, right? And the reason for that is that it is pretty clear that that's what's going on. I've got to get to the end of the level. The reason it's only partially supported is because things like the collection mechanic don't really feed in a sensible way. It's just kind of there, right? If like I said, if they had this mechanism, I mean, most puzzle games do this by, instead of having lots of stuff, there might be like 3 stars on the level you have to collect, right? And you can either pass the level with 1 star, 2 stars, or 3 stars, right?
Yeah.
And that's a way of saying you can do this level, at different, you can do it really well, you can do it in a medium level of well, you can do it poorly, right? And that's all they needed to do probably to make it all work. But yeah, so for me, I would say that if we were being really charitable and saying let the game speak for itself, probably it's at the satisfactory level.
That's
right?
fair. All right.
And
then lastly, the feedback. Oh, sorry.
No, go for it. What were they told for feedback?
Okay. Utilize collecting mechanic by having different paths. More difficult paths have a greater reward. Easier paths have lesser reward, but it will make it easier to reach the end of the game.
I got the block out.
Hey, congrats.
Right, I wonder if I can. No.
So yeah, here with the feedback and response, they've got. Presumably they had a linear path at the beginning, and one of the demonstrators asked them to create some more non-linearity, which I think they've implemented quite effectively.
Yeah, I think that's worked really well. Again, the only problem with it is that there's no reason to get the coins. So there's. Come on.
And we've got tutorialize by having glyphs on the walls to fit with the temple theme. Could always find notes with text if need be. That's cool. They've got the WASD at the beginning as glyphs, and I think that they've got the temple theme with the comedic tutorial skeletons. I think they're good. Introduce mechanics one by one.
Yeah.
Collection fits well with the mechanics and theme. Well, they certainly have introduced them one by one.
Uh-oh, I've done it again.
Yep, there it goes.
Sorry. Yes, carry on.
And then they said separately, we have responded to this feedback by adding optional, more difficult areas to allow for collectibles to be picked up if the player wishes to explore to find them. We've also implemented glyphs and messages from skeletons to inform the player of controls and things that aren't obvious during gameplay.
Which did work really well.
Yeah.
I think they've done a good job. It's so annoying. I thought I cracked it. I had the block over there, and I thought I'm gonna bring it over here, but no, it's disappeared into the wall again.
I would say they've definitely hit the good. Feedback has been addressed, and the changes have been successful. Yes. I'd also say that they've interpreted the feedback, because it seems that the demonstrator hasn't just gone, you should do X, and they've done X exactly. Yeah. But they've given a little bit of thought, and they've added the glyphs as well as the skeletons.
Yeah, and I think
they've got like a.
And we commented that the skeletons were really well done. So that's very effective. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to give up. I tried my best.
That's okay.
I'm hoping I haven't missed out too much of the game, but we've seen quite a bit of it. No, I agree with you. I think feedback has been addressed, change has been successful. Good. So what are your final thoughts on this one?
I quite like this one. I think that of the games I've seen, this has possibly got the largest and most fleshed out world. They've certainly got a lot going on in terms of a number of large levels.
Yeah.
I think within those levels they've got a good amount of variety as well. One thing, as you can see there, that's slightly holding it back is the mild jank of the grappling hook. Though I can understand very easily why it's like that.
Yeah, they're quite hard. I mean, we perhaps should reflect on that, right? In that jumping and collecting things is pretty easy to implement in Unity.
Yeah.
An effective grappling hook mechanism that works consistently and well, quite tough.
Yeah.
I imagine I imagine they struggled a lot to get it working. And to get it working as well it does is quite the thing, to be honest.
Yeah, this is one of the nice and ambitious ones because for a first game, there's nothing wrong in making just like a simple platformer in
Yep.
2D, but having it be 3D and having a few complex elements added to it, it's
Yeah.
very commendable.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and again, but it is, if you were to evaluate just the end result, it is again an example of just thinking about how to make the whole thing aligned, right? How to make the game design work and make it really effective and slick. I mean, it wouldn't take many changes to this to quite dramatically improve it in terms of knowing what you wanted to do to give you sensible risk rewards, all the rest of it. Right? They're very, very close. So
A little more cohesion on that core dynamic.
yeah, but yeah, really good effort, I think. Really nicely done. Right, that is our last game for this video. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye bye.